There's a ring in the Sahara so perfect that astronauts once used it as a landmark from orbit. 40 kilometers wide, nearly a perfect circle, sitting alone in the emptiest desert on Earth. And for years, no one could agree on what made it. You would walk right past it on the ground. Up close, it is just low ridges of pale rock and sand, stretching in gentle curves. Your eyes would never trace the shape. It is too big. Only from high above does the pattern appear. Ring inside ring, like ripples frozen in stone. The locals of Mauritania had lived beside it for generations. It took human beings leaving the planet to truly see it. So the first guess was the obvious one. Something fell from the sky. A giant meteorite, they said, punched this circle into the desert long ago. It fit your instincts perfectly. A round hole means an impact. The moon is covered in them. Earth has hundreds. And then the evidence refused to cooperate. When geologists went looking for the fingerprints of an impact, they found nothing. No shocked quartz, the shattered crystal that violent collisions leave behind. No melted rock pooled at the center. No crater bowl at all. The ground inside the ring is almost flat. A meteorite big enough to carve 40 kilometers would have left a scar you could not miss. Here, there was none. So if the sky did not make it, what did? Look closer at the rings themselves. They are not random. They are layers of different rock, some hard, some soft, worn down at different speeds by wind and rare rain. Picture cutting through a stack of dinner plates at a slight angle. You would see circles nested inside circles. That is roughly what you are seeing here laid flat across the desert. But layered rock is usually flat in sheets. To make circles, something had to lift the whole stack into a dome first. And here's where the story turns underground. The leading explanation says molten rock pushed up from deep below long ago. It never broke the surface. It just swelled beneath like a blister rising under skin, bending the flat layers into a bulge. Then the eruption never came. The magma cooled and stayed buried. The dome sat there for tens of millions of years. And then the erosion began. Wind and water slowly shaved the top off the dome, layer by layer. Softer rock washed away faster, leaving the harder rings standing as ridges. What you see from space is the flattened cross-section of that ancient blister. That is the part most people get wrong. They imagine the eye was made in one dramatic moment. A blast, a strike, a single event. It was not. It was made by almost nothing, repeated for an unimaginably long time. A wind that carries away a grain of sand. A rain that falls a few days a year. Do that for 100 million years, and you can uncover a buried mountain from the inside out. You're not looking at destruction. You're looking at patience. Still, the mystery is not fully closed. Scientists still argue over the details. How much was volcanic? How much was other deep movement of the crust? Why the rings came out so strikingly even? Some point out that many domes erode into rough, messy shapes. This one came out clean, almost drawn with a compass. Why this dome, in this place, kept its geometry so well, no one can say for certain. There's one more thing hidden in the rock. The layers hold fossils and ancient tools. Long before the Sahara was sand, this region held rivers and life. Inside the rings, researchers have found stone blades left by people thousands of years ago. They lived here when water ran. They never knew they were standing inside a giant eye. Today, the structure guides more than astronauts. Geologists study it to understand how the crust bends and how deserts erase and reveal the past. It has become a natural clock. Each ring is a page of time you can read from orbit, a record of what this land was and how slowly it changed. And it reminds you of something quietly humbling. The largest, most perfect shape on this stretch of Earth was invisible to everyone who ever walked across it. It needed distance to exist. So a ring 40 kilometers wide in the loneliest desert, made not by a strike, but by a buried dome and 100 million years of wind. Its edges too clean to fully explain. What else are we standing on right now? Too enormous and too slow for us to ever notice from the ground. If you like falling asleep to questions